Hello everyone, welcome to Semi Homesteading with Abby. Thank you all so much for tuning into this week's video. I'm a little sick, but you know, we're gonna keep this show moving. This channel is all about homesteading, homemaking, and motherhood, so go ahead and subscribe if you're into those things. I got a request to make cherry jam. I'm trying it out today, and I'm taking you along with me. Let's get right into it. So I am just using a recipe that I found online, and it looks pretty standard. Like, all jams are pretty much lemon juice, sugar, and fruit. You can also use pectin for jams, but I never have. I don't know why I'm like suspicious of pectin. There's probably no reason to be, but I just try to avoid pectin if I can. So this recipe is pectin free. The only cherries that I could find at the store were frozen. These are frozen dark sweet cherries from Private Collection. I got them from Safeway. I tried to do a delivery grocery order, and it said that fresh cherries were only available in the store, which is weird. I don't know why. Like, some items just won't be delivered even though they're sitting right there and they're in the store. So that doesn't really make sense to me. But I have wanted to try making jam from frozen fruit, and I just haven't done it yet. So we're gonna use 2 bags of these dark sweet cherries and just throw them in the pot. These are whole cherries, and you can make jam with whole cherries, but I kind of don't want to. I want them to just be chunks. In the recipe it says like quarter some of them, keep some whole, keep some, you know, cut some in half. So you have kind of like a different mix of textures. I am gonna go a little bit rogue here and just start the cooking process with the whole cherries and then use an immersion blender for some of them to like get it a little bit more blended, but still keep a little bit of texture. Now I'm just going to turn my stovetop on high and then start cooking these down a little bit more. Then we're gonna add our sugar and our lemon juice. I have my white sugar to add and my lemon juice. Now, ideally, I would have bought lemons and would squeeze the lemon juice in here. That would be more natural, I guess, but for right now, we're using the bottled lemon juice. Well, this recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of fresh cherries pitted. I have 2 pounds here. Each bag is 1 pound. So I'm gonna adjust the recipe just a little bit to adjust for those amounts. This also says 3 tablespoons of lemon juice and 0.7 pounds of sugar. So I'm going to adjust all of those up, and let me tell you the final amounts. So 0.93 pounds of sugar, which is like kind of a lot, but we'll see how much that is. I'm gonna have to weigh that out. And then it'll be 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. So let me go ahead and put my lemon juice in. Honestly, from what I've gathered from making different sorts of jams, is the measurements are all just kind of a little bit willy-nilly. Like, you don't have to be exact. You just need to make sure you have enough lemon juice to get the jam to congeal, since you don't have pectin. I haven't found that it needs to be like crazy accurate with the measurements other than maybe the lemon juice. Okay, now we're gonna see how much 0.93 pounds is of sugar. This is 7 ounces. 8 ounces, so that's 15 ounces, so that's about right. 2 cups of sugar. Lots of sugar, but that's okay. I don't know if we're necessarily eating jam to be like healthy, you know? It's okay. Just know there's a lot of sugar in this. Okay, I've also fed my sourdough starter, and I'm gonna make sourdough. Now, I have a video about how to make sourdough that I will link below. I kinda wanna do an updated one just because I feel like I'm better at it now. But I have fed my sourdough starter. It's on its way to rising. It's been very happy recently, so I'm excited about that because I had neglected it for a little bit. So we're gonna make a homemade sourdough loaf and then put homemade cherry jam on it. This is the immersion blender that I got, or that I use. It's from Kitchen Smith, and I really like it. So I will link this in the description below. But basically, I've used this for all sorts of things. The big thing right now that I'm using it for is baby food, because my son is starting solids and I want to keep a little bit of texture in some of his foods. So I'm just gonna take this. Gosh, my voice is really gone. I'm just gonna start going through it a bit. I'm getting some of these major chunks of berries. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Gotta clean that up. But here is what the jam is looking like. So if I stir it, see it's much more liquid with there's definitely some chunks and some whole berries in there still, but most of it is kind of a little bit blended at least. Pro tip that I learned, I don't know, from some website, making jam, was the foam on the top will go away if you add like a tablespoon or so of butter, like add a pat of butter, and then it kind of disappears. That is what I'm gonna do. Okay, we have this on high still, but once it starts to really simmer, I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit and just let it simmer for a while until it thickens up. It's the next day. My voice has gotten significantly worse. So we're just gonna cut the bread. We're supposed to wait until this is cool. And I don't have the patience for that, so it's still warm. I'm just cutting this one piece and we're going to make some toast. We will let the rest cool. Taste test. That is by far the best jam I've ever made. Oh my gosh, I'll be having this frequently. This would be good on like any bread or an English muffin or something. But I'm telling you, with the sourdough, you cannot go wrong. So I'm gonna end it there. That is all for this week's video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye everyone.